This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about ServiceNow architecture. Why ServiceNow? What is ServiceNow? And architecture of a ServiceNow, right? So now today we're going to have a little bit, let's have a deep dive into the ServiceNow and understand what kind of modules that are available in ServiceNow. So if you look into ServiceNow as overall, ServiceNow has different modules, out of which the 4 key modules will be ITSM, which is information technology, service management, ITOM, information technology, operations management, ITBM, which talks about information technology, business management, ITAM, which talks about information technology, asset management as a overall, right? So these modules have different sub modules, again, like if you see HR, finance, PPM, APM, governance, risk and control, blah blah blah. You have multiple modules over there, right? As a overall, you see ServiceNow. So ITSM, ITOM, ITBM, and ITAM. Now, if you look into the ServiceNow, so this ITSM considers some student, some kid is starting, he's pursuing, the studies from first standard to the intermediate, the plus two or something. Why am I using that word? Because ITSM is a key funda, right? It is a key for everything. If you wanted to perform ITOM, you need to have a fair understanding on ITSM. ITBM, you need to have a fair understanding on ITSM. ITAM, again ITSM, right? So as an overall, what are we going to learn in ITSM? We will learn from the basic. We will learn from the basic, from basics to integrations, to overall ServiceNow integrations. Between this, we will talk about so-called administration, development, and integrations, blah blah blah. Service catalogs. We will define the workflows. We will configure the ServiceNow, and we will write some scripts, and we will play some UI policies, some kind of automation we build using applications and all. So usually there is a gossip in the market if ITSM means incident management, right? Problem management, change management, right? Change management. So these three are one of the part of ITSM, right? It's one of the part of ITSM. So if you know what is incident, what is problem, what is change, which I'm going to explain right after this discussion. So if somebody tell you that, hey, in the ITSM, we will only talk about incident, problem, change management, no, that's not the actual topic that we need to talk about. We need to start from the basics to the core integration, right? So incident, problem, change management will part of the discussion, and it should not be the overall discussion, right? So now, right? So first of all, so before we jump into this particular topics, so ITOM talks about what? ITOM talks about orchestration, right? Orchestration, service mapping, right? Some part of a CMD, right? Some part of a CMD, right? And now what ITBM talks about, your project portfolio management, right? Project portfolio management, right? Your HR, your finance, right? And your application portfolio management, right? And your HR management and your finance management. Everything related to business will talk in the ITBM, right? So now let's go into the subject here. And the other one, ITAM, which is the overall concept of a CMDB, which is configuration management database, right? Configuration management database. What are we going to talk about? So this will talk about the mid server, discovery, CI class, okay, SAM, which is software asset management, right? And which HAM, which is hardware asset management, okay, blah blah blah. So it overall talks about this content, right? So your ITSM will be the overall basics to integrations. The ITOM talks about your orchestration, service mapping, CMDB, and your ITBM talks about all the business related stuff, project portfolio management, HR, finance, application portfolio management and all. Where your ITOM talks about CMDB, mid server, discovery, CI class, SAM and HAM, blah blah blah, right? So now the advanced is SAM Pro. So we have a SAM Pro here, right? So this is the overall 360-degree view of a Servicenow. Are we clear? Any questions on it?
In this course, are we going to cover all four? Or?
Sorry, I was talking in mute. May I have your question, please?
Yeah, I was wondering if in this course, like, we'll be covering all four?
No, we will be covering SAM, some introduction about the brief intro about the SAM, right? And we will also cover about the discovery, which is a cover about the configuration management database, which also talks about your mid server and the discovery, CI class stuff and all, right? And we will not touch base with the HAM. So, and we will, if you want, if time permits, I will try to explain you the resource management on the project portfolio management. That I cannot guarantee. If you were able to cope up with it in the 30 sessions, I can cover it. I don't mind doing it. So ITOM, we will not touch base because that particular ITOM subject itself takes almost 20 sessions. So rest of all ITs. So our main focus would be more on the ITSM stuff. We're not going to touch base or concentrate more on any of these three. ITSM or ITAM. Does it answer your question, Sudeep?
Yeah, so OM is basically production support, right? All those stuff.
Right. So there will be some sort of servers that you cannot integrate, right? So where you use orchestrate, right? Or more of an application perspective. Yeah. Any questions, Deepu, Bhargav?
Fine, sir.
Yeah? No, fine.
Yeah. So this is a 360 degrees view of Servicenow. Okay. Now, so Vijay, I've been wondering, like, we've been talking, it's almost 2 sessions, we're still been talking about only the theory part. So where should I practice? Servicenow gives you a lifetime free instance. It's not something that I can give you. So Servicenow instance is giving you. It's a lifetime free instance. All you have to do is go to developer.servicenow.com, right? If you go there and you need to click on register, sign in or something. If you don't have a login credentials, so you have to register one. Go to service, get a Servicenow account. You need to register here. First name, last name, email address, password, confirm password. Once you enter all the details, you will get a confirmation email to your email address to verify your email address, right? So once you are verified that, then you should be able to log in. And if you look into this particular thing, I will be logging into using my personal email address, entering the password. Once you entered, this is how the solution looks like here. So if you see this, it is asking request instance, right? Request instance and request instance. Now, so what do you do here, right? So you need to click on request instance. Once you clicked on request instance, you remember I was telling you, like, ServiceNow have multiple versions where we talks about aspirin to Paris, right? So we have a New York release, Orlando release, and Paris release, which is the latest one, right? Let's start learning on the latest version because that's important. That will actually help us, right? You can also go with the Orlando and New York. You need to choose your version, which release you want focusing on. Click on request. So it is saying you're processing your request. This will take a couple of seconds. Right? So now you see this. This is the URL that is given to me, right? For me, this is my URL. Open this. And this is my password. This is my username. Okay. Right. So usually it should ask, but I'm not sure what happened. So, this is the ServiceNow instance looks like, right? So now if you get a job, and this is how the ServiceNow instance looks like. There's a user ID created to you, and your ServiceNow instance looks like this. Now let's start understanding a couple of shortcuts, because we are going as a experienced person into the market, right? So shortcuts actually prove us, yes, we are experienced. Now if somebody asks you which version of ServiceNow you are currently using, how do I know? How do I know which version of a ServiceNow I'm currently using? All I have to do is go here, stats stats.do, right? What was the statement? stats.do, right? So this is the statement that you need to copy and paste it here and hit enter. So there is a page that is being opened for you, right? So in this particular page, if you see this, so this is the demo server, fair enough. And what is the URL of your service now? dev82728.service-now.com. If you see this, dev82728service-now.com, right? Now, which build you are in? You are using a Paris version. That's what we selected, right? In the Paris, we selected the Paris version, right? The Paris version, build it is blah blah blah, and extra memorial, all these concepts, right? It's a configuration, backend configuration. If you want to look into, you can do that. It uses a port number called 80. In case, just make a note of it if it works for you, right? 80 is a port that we use for the ServiceNow. We don't install or we don't deploy ServiceNow, so we don't have to worry about the port, what it is using it. Fair enough, right? So what is the shortcut that we need to do? Stats.do. Okay. Now let's jump into another thing. First, let's understand the UI. The GUI part we need to understand, right? So the GUI looks like this, and if you see this particular area where my mouse is hovering, this area will be called as banner, right? So this area will be called as banner, right? So if I copy this entire thing, right, copy and paste it here, so this will be called as a banner, right? This area will be called as a banner, right? Now what is this? This is something where who you logged in. If you logged in as Vijay, you will see my name here. If you logged in as Sudhir, you will see Sudhir name here, right? Something like that. Now, so you can go ahead and look into your profile, click on the profile, and your first name, last name, your email address, date format, and everything will be visible here. You can go ahead and reset your password from here. And now if you click on this is a logout, we'll talk about impersonate and elevate routes as we move forward, right? Now let's look into the other stuff, which is search. What is the search? if there is an incident number that you wanted to search, there's a ticket number that you wanted to search, that you will keep it here, INC. You will find the number of incidents here, right? So all the number of incidents here, something like this, INC, right? If you have a specific number, that you can click on it, right? You see this button, this is the messaging, right? So this is where we can chat with somebody, right? I can chat with Abel Tutor, right? I can chat with Abel Tutor. So something like this, you know? So something, what do you mean by chat? Can I chat with somebody, some of my Facebook friends from Servicenow? No. There is something, if I'm using Servicenow and you are using Servicenow, we both can talk. Same instance. It shouldn't be a different instance again, right? We both can chat, not our Facebook or LinkedIn friends. Now, what is this question mark? So this question mark is talk about articles. What is this articles all about? See, when I say articles is more of reducing the incident. You know, ITL whole agenda is to make sure the number of incidents is reduced, right? So the number of while we are working on the reducing the number of events. So what do we do here? So we will give some knowledge article to end user, right? We will give some knowledge article to end user. What does it mean by knowledge article? Let's assume I will say printer is not working. I go to self-service. Okay, so this is a self-service portal. Let's assume. Okay. Incident. Right. Hit on new. Right. And subscription. Right. So as soon as I click on printer is not working. So you see, there is some searching is going on, right? So this kind of a documentation, these documents will be saved here. So I don't need to create one incident. I will just go ahead and look into the specific documents, look for a printer is not working scenario. There is a document that I will state, I will all prepared for the printer is not working scenario. So what kind of a common use cases printer will not work? Maybe you are not in the connection. Maybe the configuration of printer is not good. So we will document everything how to solve it and give it to end user in the service now. So the person will not create a ticket. Instead, he go to the knowledge base article, look into the document, he himself fix it so that you will reduce the number of tickets, right? So that's the usage of knowledge base articles. Now, if you see the gear icon here, right? The gear icon. This gear icon will give you accessibility to set the time zone. Time zone of what? Time zone of the instant where you logged in, right? If you are from Europe, you will set up your time zone. Brazil, you can do that. Eastern timing, you can do that. Mountain timings, you can do that. Whichever the timings, right? I can also set up a couple of themes. The current theme, I didn't like it. This is green or all, I didn't like it. I wanted to change it to some contrast, right? And I can click on it. See, now the theme has changed, right? We have multiple themes available here. Okay, multiple themes available here. No, I don't want it to follow this particular the out of the box themes. Can I go ahead and get up my own configuration? Can I go ahead and get my own configuration? Yes, you can have your own configuration. I will tell you right after this, right? Now yeah, so the key part is the in Servicenow, the very much important that anybody wanted to know from a GUI part is left navigation, right? So very much important is left navigation, right? So this area will be called as left navigation, right? Which is very important for Servicenow. Why it is very much important? Because each and every application menu and everything what you do in the Servicenow you go from here. Everything what you do in the Servicenow you go from here. So left navigation consists of application menu, Okay. Application menu consists of modules. Okay. For example, if you see this left navigation, right? Self-service is an application menu. I'm clicking on it. You will see a bunch of modules you can see. Home page, business application, dashboard, service catalog, knowledge base, visual taskboard, connect chat, etc. Right? So, and benchmark is an application menu. You have administrator setup category, right? The business guided setup as an application menu, and you have modules here. Integration hub is an application menu, and integration hub usage, template, or retry policy is an app modules, right? So left navigation consists, this is the left navigations consist of application menu, and applications consist of what modules? Application consists of modules, right? So similarly, if you see incident here, incident is an application menu. If you see incident, create new, assign to me, open, unassigned, resolved, all. These are all modules. So as part of your ITSM, what are we going to learn? We are going to learn how to configure an application menu, how to configure a module, how to give permissions to module, how to hide it from some users or some not. Okay, everything we will learn on it, right? So that's about the application menus and module. Now moving into the next stuff. So this particular UI, Servicenow GUI part UI available in two types. UI 15, UI 16. Okay, user interface 15, user interface 16, right? So now the user interface, what you are currently seeing is UI 16. This is UI 16. Vijay, how can I switch back to UI 15? Yes. If you see this gear icon here, you see a switch to UI 15, click on it. See the UI completely changed. The entire UI has changed now, right? Again, no much technically there is not any difference. We don't have any difference in the technically, but you see again the same left navigation, application menu, modules, right? So you, this particular area will be called as home page. So this will be also available in UI page. You can also customize your, you can choose which UI page you wanted to, which home page you wanted to, and you have a logout button, you have a logo, search, chat, knowledge base articles, everything is available here, right? So the only the look and feel will change. Okay, only the look and feel will change as part of the UI change. Okay, now even it will have some different UIs, different themes, right? System, flamingo, different type of themes. It also have something like this. You can configure it, but these changes will only apply for this UI, not the, it will not affect the other one. Okay, now how can I switch back? Switch to UI 16 here. Switch to UI 16. Now I will give a pause here, so I will open for any questions. Bhargav, Deepu, and Sudhir, yeah, please feel free to raise your questions if you have anything. Is that fine? All, any questions? Oh, no questions?
No, everything is fine.
Looks like I'm doing a great job. Wonderful. Okay, now that's a UI part, right? So now, so if somebody purchase, let's assume, so we will do it as a project from now. Okay, we'll do it as a project now. Okay, so now some company called Deloitte. I think I'm keep using Deloitte. So some company called Deloitte purchased Servicenow from Servicenow. Okay, so what is this? When they purchase Servicenow, okay, so let me tell you the licensing model, then we can jump into the configuration. Okay, licensing model of a Servicenow would be fulfiller. fulfiller, approver. Okay, fulfiller and approver, right? Fulfiller will cost you somewhere around 190. Anything you can quote anything, that's fine. Servicenow will give you a price, so it will cost you a little cheaper. The approval will cost you a little cheaper there, right? Approver is something new. So now, what is the difference between this fulfiller and approver? Fulfiller is a person who can be a developer, right? And who can be a person with ITIL access. What is this, a person with ITIL access? So if you're working that, you must have seen there are some people in organization, when you have some issues with the password, you will reach out to service desk and 2222. So there is a team that sits in service desk, though they will take care about the incident, change, problem management stuff and all, right? They are the persons who will be assigned with the fulfiller licenses, right? On a development, you will also have a developer license over there, right? So approver is something who, I'm a manager. I don't work on incidents request or development stuff and all, right? I just need to have access to approval. So that will be my approval list. So out of the box, Servicenow give you, I really don't remember the number of out of the box, custom table options. So custom table, I think 16 to 17, I believe, tables you can create. Okay. 16 to 17 tables we can create, right? So if you create any table beyond that, you will be charged. Your company will be charged, saying, hey, as your package, I gave you permissions. Servicenow have out of the box 3,900 tables. Okay, 3,900 tables. There's nothing to do with this. So it says you can leverage any of my table, I don't mind. But if you wanted to build a new custom table, you can only do 16 to 17 tables as part of your package. If you are going beyond that, you will be charged. You will be charged with the extra price on it. If you have any confusion, let me know on this. No questions so far? Okay. So that's an approval. That's a licensing model. It looks like, right? So now coming into the configuration part. So Deloitte purchase Servicenow. Why do Deloitte wanted to keep Servicenow logo there? Can I go ahead and change my logo? Yes. So your use case, your client, you have a request saying change the Servicenow logo to Deloitte logo. Okay, so how can you change it? First you need to download a Deloitte logo. Let me download it. Deloitte transparent logo. I will choose this. Anything. Yeah, save image. All right. Okay, I have this logo. Now what will I do? Where will I change my logo, right? So you will go to left navigation. Okay, I'm repeating again, everything we will do it in the same left navigation, right? We'll go to left navigation, type basic configuration UI 16, because we are in the UI 16, right? Basic configuration UI 16, hit on it. When you hit on it, right, you will see some configuration request here, right? So we will go one by one, then we will change the banner here, right? Page header caption. Do you see a service management here? Right? So this I will change into IT service management, or I will just add, IT service management training, right? And I just click on save. You see that? Change is replicated, right? Interview. If you go to interview, or certification, your certification question would be more of, they don't ask you how do you change the page header caption. They will ask you what property you will change to change the page header caption. What is the property? If you hover the mouse here, you will see glide dot product dot description, right? Do you see that? If you hover the mouse, so that is your property. In a certification, if you're doing a certification, you will have bunch of options, the 4 options. You can choose one option. This is a glide dot product dot caption, right? This glide dot product dot description. This is where I make changes. IT service management training. Okay. We'll come to that browser tab title in a moment. System time zone for all users unless overridden in the user record. Okay. So by default, the system time zone is going to be America, Los Angeles. Okay. So you are creating a user. Let's suppose you are creating now. There is a user that you wanted to create. So what do? You went somewhere and you created a user, and you forgot to mention the time zone where the user is from. Automatically, this will be that will be updated to System America, Los Angeles. If you didn't specify what time zone you are in, the user in, it will be by default America, Los Angeles, right? Now you see this banner image for UI 16, you can simply click on the plus, go to this area and select. You see this, the logo have changed. I don't know if you're seeing it. Let me zoom it a little bit. See this logo have changed, Deloitte. That's how it works. Deloitte IT service management training. Fair enough. Now date format, what Servicenow need to use? The Servicenow will be used YY MMDD, MMDD YY, MMDD YYY, MMDD YYY, blah blah blah, etc. And the time format is this HH hours, minutes, seconds, and all. You remember I was telling you one thing, like, if you didn't like the existing themes, can I go ahead and change into different my own desired theme? Is absolutely, you can do that. Right? How can I do that is, if you go to Google browser and look for RBG colors course, and this open one thing. So let's say which color you like. You like this color, right? What is the code of this particular color? Okay, this color. So you mix this blah blah blah. What is the code of this color? This wherever this particular the circle is lying here, for everywhere we move, that will be there will be a code for it, right? For example, I move this. What is the code for this? 2BDC84 code for the specific color. So what I will do here to keep it make sure that it is being visible, I will copy this header background color and paste it in somewhere where I wanted to change and make this changes revert back. So I will go ahead and do it, change the color, header background color, hash, sorry, it is black 1F4. Okay, let me change it to red. No changes are being replicated there. See, the changes are being replicated. Now I wanted to apply the same thing into multiple places and see what is that looks like, right? And I'll revert the changes and go back to this particular code again and make the changes in the header. See that divide stripe, it have this, right? And navigation header footer, see that this is where it looks like. Now you have a navigation browser expand items, right? If you expand the browser, you will see that, right? And UI 16 color, right? See this basic configuration for the modules, right? Navigation selected, right? Somewhere it have changed. So like this, you can go ahead and make your own theme based on your wish over there, right? So that's basically the overall configuration looks like. Any questions here? Bhargav, Sudhir, Deepu.
No questions.
Okay.
No.
No questions. Very good. So now, what else? The basics. Oh, the basics. Come on, basics. What else? We know modules. We know this, and we know this. Okay. Impersonate users. Let me talk to you about the impersonate user for a while. The impersonating user is more of I'm a system administrator. Okay, I've changed something to Bharatram profile. Okay, I've changed something to Bhargav profile, right? I've changed something to Bhargav Ram profile, and I wanted to see whether it is working as expected or not. I don't want Bhargav to let Bhargav to know that I made some changes until I tested perfectly. Okay, so I'm testing. I wanted to test it. So how can I check what access the Bhargav have? I'll clickly impersonate user as Bhargav as okay, Bhargav profile is not there, so I'll click on Abel tutor here. So now it will load, and I'm logged in as who? Abel tutor. If you see the permissions, you have a very less permission. You have no access to anything, right? Everything is restricted to him, right? So I can end the impersonate, and I'll go back to as a system administrator there. Right? I can end the impersonate and I go back to system administrator. Right? So that's a overall a concept called impersonating. That's an overall concept of impersonating. Okay. Now, so we've been talking about this stuff, right? So user life cycle management. Okay. So we'll talk about this and we'll wrap it up today, right? So as part of the architecture looks like, so information in Servicenow stored in which database? Which database we talked about? MySQL,
Yeah.
right? MySQL. So information in the MySQL will be stored in the form of what?
Tables.
Tables, right? You'll have information. So each and every information will have their own respective tables. Okay? Have their own respective tables. So out of the box, if you go to any organization, out of the box, all the users stay in table called sys_user. Sys_user. If you look into sys_user table, your ID will be there. Your ID will exist here. So what is the table name? Sys_user, right? So how do I go into that particular table? So go here, tables, go to left navigation and type tables. Under system security, you will see tables here. System definition, right click, open that, tables. Out of the box, how many tables we have? 3,398 tables, out of which you will have a user table. You will have a user table. Right? This is the table. So what is the table name? Sys_user. Right? Vijay, what? Yeah. Any question? Okay. So Vijay, I wanted to know what is the shortcut. So do I really need to go to these tables, look into the table and search for it and all? I already know the table name. Can I not search in the left navigation? Yes. If you know the table name, type sys_user dot list. If you type uppercase list and hit enter, the table will be opened into a new tab, right? Table name, dot list, right? So you will see this table open in new tab. Okay, Vijay, how can I open this particular table in the same tab? Right, table name dot lowercase list. Lowercase list. You will see the table in same tab. Right, let's test it. Sys underscore user dot list lowercase. You have the data now. Right, you have the data now. Similarly, you can also go incident list open. Right, incident is open. You can also have incident list open in the same time. Right, so you were searching, you are exploring a service now. Let's suppose you are exploring a service now. Somewhere you are in, you don't know which table you are in. Somewhere you go to the health preferences or some you know, what did it call this, something like, you know, the baselines or something. You are exploring something, you don't know, so you stuck here. Now you wanted to know which table you are in. You are exploring something, you are here and you're roaming here and there, you stuck somewhere and you wanted to know which table you are in. How do you know which table you are in? Is simple, pretty straightforward. Right click any of the here or here, here or here, or on this bread icon. Okay, anyway, right click, configure, and go to table. See this, what am I doing here? Right click, configure, table, hit on table. Right, when I hit on table, what is the table name I'm in? CMDB rel dot filter. Simply I'll go here, same table. Right, the same table I'm in. See, the same table, router interface. Right, so what do you need to do to know which table you are in? Right, all you have to do is configuration. Okay, what was that? I forgot. Right, sorry. Yeah, right click, configuration. Okay, configure, hit on table, look for a name, not label. Okay, look for a name, not label. I'll tell you what is the difference between the label and name soon, probably in next classes. Right, so that's a thing. Right, so if you are exploring something, you miss somewhere and you wanted to know which table you are in, this is where you actually do that. Right click, table now. Right, so that's one of the shortcuts we talk about. Right, so we will talk about user access management tomorrow. How do we create users and here and there, right? And plugins. Plugins is something that you keep when you start learning and importing Servicenow. That you keeps learning about the plugins. Everything in Servicenow is more of a plugins. So to know what plugins that are installed or what plugins are not installed on your machine, simply what you need to do, go to left navigation and type p plugins. Open link tab.
Sir, what do you mean by plugin?
Plugin is something, we were talking about SAM, right?
Yes.
Yeah, SAM, right? And we were talking about HR, GRC, PPM, APM, HR, finance. You know, these are all modules, right? So usually it will not come out of the box. These are all the modules, you can't just access it like this. right?
Okay.
So what you need to do, you need to request to ServiceNow saying, hey ServiceNow, provide this module access. What ServiceNow will do is ServiceNow will provide, activate the plugin for you, HR module plugin for you, something like HRS. You see this advanced work assignment HR app HR components, you will install it. So that's when you start, you will be able to access that. Otherwise, you will not be able to access that. Right?
Okay.
Every
So it is
module.
not related to ITSM.
No. Yes, we do activate plugin for the discovery.
Okay.
We do take care about the discovery plugins, and we also need to enable for the SAM plugins, HAM plugins, and all. We do take care of that. There are some paid plugins, and there will be some, free plugins, something like automation, Adobe Experience. These are all paid plugins, HR related stuff and all. So there are some free plugins that you can play around. Does it answer the question, Sudhir? Sudhir, does it answer the question?
Yeah, actually, I think it was the other guy. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Okay. So to know what plugins installed on your machine, on your instance, simply click on install. You will see. Out of the box, you don't have to do anything. Out of the box, it comes with ITSM. You wanted to have any, something like, you can go ahead, what kind of ITSM product family, ITSM related plugins. You wanted to see ITBM related plugins. You wanted to see security related plugins. You will see here. Risk related plugins. You will see here, right? So go through this. This is, they explore this. This will give you more understanding on it. Yeah. So that's about the plugins, right? Oh, and what else I missed on the basics? Basics. Change. Yeah, that's all. So we're good to go. User access, user lifecycle management from tomorrow. Yeah. Before I will, we have 5 minutes left. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Can we use a wildcard?
Can we use what?
Wildcards, like, in table search?
Wildcard. What does that mean? Can you explain me, please?
Like, if you don't know the data name, you just, like, put some kind of wildcard and just the partial name of the table.
Yeah, we can anyway do that. Simple. For example, right? Just a hash trick. Look for a hash trick. That's it. It's not on the table. You can do anything. Let's say you wanted to go into this particular incident table and you wanted to see CMDB. See? All the CMDB stuff here. You can pick up whatever you wanted to do. And you wanted to do some INC, incident related stuff. Hash trick. Hash trick will give you that flexibility. Incident, fact, incident, task. Change. Multiple change. All right. Any other questions, please? Deepu, Bhargav?
Sir, in the page
No,
we are
I'm
seeing
not.
label. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the page we are seeing label, name, extensible, and extensible. So what's the use of it, sir?
Everything will tell you. So,
Yeah.
so I'll tell you the difference between label and name, what is extensible, what is extensible, and everything will tell you for the classes.
Yeah.
It is a separate session we will head on. Yes, Deepu, go ahead. Yeah, Deepu, please go ahead. You seem to have a question.
No, I'm good with you.
All right. Perfect then. Yeah. So if no questions, let me upload this document which we were talking about, Google Docs. I gave you the question. I was giving you that permission, so I hope everyone received it. I'll also upload the video. All right. See you then. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.